Hello everyone, it's Professor Noor. Today we're gonna go through chapter number 6, Advanced Report Techniques. What are the objectives? You will be able to create and relate additional tables. You're gonna create a query for reports. You will create report in a design view. You will add fields and text boxes to a report. You will format the report controls. You will group and ungroup the report controls. You will update the multiple report controls. You will add and modify sub-report, modify section properties, add title, page, number, date to a report, and then you're gonna be learning about how to preview, print, and publish report, and then how to add and subtotals to a report. Also, you're gonna learn about including conditional values in a report. So chapter number 6 mainly it talks about the report in details. So we're going to learn the different techniques that you can use to create the report. So obviously we need to add some additional tables to our database. So I'm going to be using the same old database, the Bread Loss Associate, and then we're going to add some additional tables. Those tables that we're going to be adding, they are in your data files. So we need to import them to your existing database. So how we're going to do that, I'm going to show you while sharing my screen right now. Okay, so I did open my database, the Bread Loss Associate, and then as you know, we had the two tables and we had a couple of forms and reports that we have created from our previous lectures. So the first thing is to add additional tables. So those tables is already been created and they are inside the data file. So previously I did downloaded the data file from the Canvas modules. So the files are here. Then I will show you how you're gonna import those files. So you will go to external data. From the external data, then you will go to import and link. So you will click new data source, and then you will click on from file, and then from there you will go to a text file, okay, and then you will get the get external data files from here. Then you will be asked specify the source of the destination, so from where you're gonna be importing the file. So we have to browse. The data file is already downloaded under downloads. Double click, see the folder is here, double click it, chapter number 6, and then from here we're gonna import the workshop table, which is this here, and then I will click OK, open, and then is gonna be imported the source data into a new table. So we need to leave it as a new table. So leave the first option, click OK, OK, then just say next, next, next. This is very important now. Choose my own key. Okay. So let's go back. Be sure that you choose this option here. So be sure to choose first row content field. Look now, the first row is always your heading of your columns, is the field, then the records. So be sure that you choose first row content field, then hit next, then hit next. Now I choose the second option, choose my own primary key, and automatically access picked workshop code as your primary key. Next, and then I will leave it as workshop, and then I will click finish. I'm not gonna save the step. So the table workshop is added. So I need to right click on it, design view, and then we have to look at it if we need to change any of the stuff there. So for the code in the property, field properties, field size, you need to change to 3. And then the workshop description, instead of being 255, the size, it has to be 50. Then the rest is number, so we're done with that. And then close, save the changes. Yes, again. Now if you double click the workshop, these are all your record, and then you can stretch it, and then we have all the numbers are here, right? Now we need to import the second table. So I will save the changes. We will go to external data tab. Then the first group is import and link, and then you will click on new data source. Then the first option from file, text file, and then I will hit browse. And then from here we want to pick up workshop offerings, and then I will click open, and then I will import the source as a new table in my current database. Click OK. Then from here click next, and be sure that you choose this option in the second step. First row contain the fields. Then hit next. Then hit next. Then here you will say choose my own. Automatic access will choose account number as your primary key. Then hit next, and this table will be saved as workshop offerings. So finish. And then click close. Now we need to go back to the workshop offerings, and then right click design view. And then in this case, we're gonna have two primary key, right? One will be the actual primary key. The second one will be your secondary primary key, right? So to do that, you will click here and then hold the shift key and select the other guy, which is the workshop code, and then click on the primary key. And then be sure that the account number is the size 5, and then the workshop code should be 3, and then the other thing will be numbers. So let's close, save the changes. Yes, so everything, it looks okay. Now let's open the workshop offerings, and let's see is everything okay. It looks okay. Okay. So once we have imported the two tables, now we're gonna create. We already did the import. We imported it. The book says you have to create from scratch, but we already imported it. Now we have to create the relationship between those tables. Now to do that, we will have to go to database tools, relationship. These are the two previously linked, the account manager and the account. So we need to add the other two tables. So click on show table. In the show table, I need you to double click on workshop offerings and then workshop and then close it. Now what we're gonna do in this case, we're gonna do this account manager account number, we're gonna drag it over the account number here, and then we will choose all the three options: enforce referential integrity and create. So the first one is done. Now we're gonna create a relationship from here to many, because one workshop, but it could be offering multiple. So we're gonna drag this over the workshop code in the workshop offering table, and then choose these options, create. So everything looking perfect. The relationship has been created. Now we have to close to save the relationship. So once we create the relationship, now we're gonna create a query for the report. So to do that, we're gonna go to create query design, and in the query design, we're gonna click account manager, and then we're gonna click on account table, and then we're gonna add, and then we have to close it. Once we add this, now from the account manager, we have to double click the account manager, first name, last name, and then from the account table, account number, account name, street, city, state, postal code, account type, service needed. You have to collapse it first, hit the negative, and then double click it. Amount paid, we need the current due. So this is what we need. So we add it to the grid. Now we need to view it. So run the query from the reserve, the first group, run. Is all the information coming from both tables. Now we need to save it. The query will be called managers and account. Managers and accounts. It's gonna be account managers and accounts, and then click OK, and then we're done with that. Now close it. Now we're gonna create the second query. So we're gonna go to create query design. This time we're gonna be adding the workshop table, and then I need you to add the offering table, and then we have to close the table. So we have to close it. Now double click the account number and workshop code from the workshop offerings. Workshop offering, we are looking for the account number, workshop code, and then from the workshop we need the workshop description. We are looking for the total, the total hours from the workshop offerings, and then the hour spent. Now what we want is that we're gonna be creating a expression in here. So to do that, in the empty column we have to do right click, and then you will see build. Once you hit the build expression, and then what you need is you will have to double click the bread last, or click the pause it to expand, and then I need you to double click tables, like click double click, you can double click it, and then click on. Once you click the table, you will see in the middle box expression category, you will have all the fields in the table workshop offerings, and then we're gonna do double click the total hours. Then you have to have a minus, and then double click the hour spent. That should give us the remaining hours, and then click OK. Once we hit OK, now I need you to give me the property sheet. So look here where my mouse is highlighting. So property sheet. Now in the property sheet, we have to be sure that under the caption we have to say hours remaining. We have one, so we have to give it a name, which is hours remaining. So hours remaining, and then if you wanna put the dollar sign also you can do. If you don't, this is a number. So, and then we have to run it. It shows us the remaining. Double click so you can see everything. Right now we need to save the query, so I will go to the flop, it is in the top, and I will name this one as workshop offerings and workshop offerings and workshops. Click OK. So now the query has been created. Now we're gonna create an initial report in a design view. So I will close the query, and then we're gonna go to create, the tab create. Then we're gonna look for the group that says report, and then I'm gonna click on report design. Once you hit the report design, in the corner below, see the name of the report, it says report 2. In the bottom of that, if you look at the green in the left of report 2, there's a small square. So click on it. That means you have selected the whole report. Once you click the small square, then in the property sheet you will see a record source. We have to indicate that the record is coming from where. So to set the record source, what we need is we need to attach either the file, the table, or you wanna attach the query. So here, if you click the drop down, you will see all your tables and everything that associated with your database. So in this case, I need to click on account managers and accounts. So we need to click on account managers and accounts. That's the query that we created earlier. Once we did that, we said our record source is coming from this query, and then we have to close the property sheet. Now we need to add group and sort. Remember, in the previous chapter we created the group, so those records who share the same crystal, we're gonna group it together, and then the rest of the information is gonna come underneath, right? So to do that, so in your book they said, why do we need to have group and sort? The Braid Laws has determined that the record in the report should be grouped by the account manager number. That is, all the account of a given account manager should appear together within the account of a given account manager. They have determined that the account are to be ordered by account number. So also we need to sort it by account number, right? So to do that, we're gonna go to group and sort. Under the group and sort design tab, the report has four options. So the first one is design. Under the design, we have grouping and totals. I will click on group and sort. Once we hit the group and sort, in the bottom of the report, you will see add group and add sort. So the first thing, I will click on add group, and the group will be the account manager, right? And then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go click on the sort, add sort, and we wanna sort these by the account number. So everything is done, and then we need to save the report. Click the floppy, and then we're gonna save these as account manager master list. So account manager master list is the report name. I will click OK. Now we need to add the field to the report in a design view. Why do we need to do that? Once you have determined the fields that are necessary for the report, you need to add them to the report design. Now to do that, we need to go to the tools, which is under the design tab for the report, and you will see add existing field. You will click on it, and then you will see that the show all table, and then you will see the field available for this view, because remember we did set the record source. So here they are. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna drag the account manager here, then we're gonna grab the account number, then we have account name, then we're gonna have street, then we're gonna have city, then we're gonna have state. Select the state and drag it in the grid area in the design of the report. We have postal code, and then we need the account type, then we need service needed, so you will have to collapse it, hit the negative, because before it was like this. So close it and now drag it. amount paid, and then we need the current due. So now the next thing, you can adjust the sizing, alignment. So if you want to do alignment, you can highlight them like this. I will repeat again. Move your cursor to the left of the account and hold the left key and draw a box. Everything will be selected. You can go to arrange, the tab arrange, and then you can align it to the grid, to the top. So they've been adjusted to the top. If you said to the grid, they're gonna be to the grid, right? So this has been set it. So if you don't want it, then Control and Z. There you go. And then if you wanna do the sizing and spacing to fit to the smallest, to the tallest, to the shortest, to the wildest, whatever you want. Equally horizontal, equally vertically. So these are all options you can have, right? And then to the tallest. So once we have done this, now we need to change the level. So the first level here, it should be account manager number. Now I need to drag the box individually, the text box, so you need to select and then drag it. So here we have to drag this. Once we dragged it, you see this rectangle box? You can move it around, look. And then you will drag this. Now account manager, we add it. And then we need to change this also. That is account number. So we have changed the label. So after we did this, the next thing that we need is that we need to add a text boxes. You can place a text box on a report or form by using the text box tool in the control group on the design tab, which I'm going to show you. The text box consists of a control that is initially unbound and attached label. The next step is to update the control source, which is the source of the data for the control. So you can do so by entering the appropriate expression in the text box or by updating the control source property in the property sheet with the expression. So now to do that, we need to have what we call the text box. So once you have updated the control source property with the expression, the control become calculated control because you put a formula or you put something in that text box. Now, the other thing that when you say, for example, I want to add amount paid, or you said a text field equal first name, for example. So the control will be bound control. Why? The control is bound, tied to the corresponding field because you said equal first name, right? So the first name is coming from where? From a table or from a query. So that's what we call them is a bound control. So the process converting unbound control to a bound control is called banding. When you convert the unbound control to a bound control is called banding, right? So now we're gonna do a concatenation. We have to join two expressions in one text box. Now to do that, we need the text box. So we're gonna go to Design tab. This is the controls, and the text box is the AB. Where you move your cursor, you will get the screen tip. This is the text box. You will click on it, and you will draw a box. Just draw a box, a text box, like a box. So once you put the box in here, then I will type. So either you can type it here or you can type it here in the control source. So I will say equal square bracket, and then you will type the name of the field as it is, and then you will close the square bracket, and then you will give me the shift and 7, the ampersand, and then the apostrophe, single quote, space, then you will give the single comma, and then the upper sign, the and sign, and then you will open the square bracket, and then you will type last name, close it, and then in the text box here we're gonna say, instead of being text, this is the label, so you need to select and type name. This is the name, and then I will drag it, and then I will stretch it, right? So the next thing we want to do is that we need to add another text box where we're gonna be finding the total amount. So grab the AB again and put a box in here. And then I will name this, the label, as total amount. And then in the text box, I will start with equal square bracket, and then it has to be the same way, the field name. If you look up here, amount paid the same way. You cannot make it small or lower. It has to be as it is. Plus, then a square bracket again, put the current due and close it. Now I will stretch it so you can see the formula. Now if you look here, either you can type it under the control source, the formula you see here in the top in your property sheet, control source, the formula is there, or you can just type it inside the box, the text box. So once we did this, now let's run the we can align them. It looks okay. Now let's view the report. You will go to view. Below the file is view, the tab, under the ribbon, the group that says view. You will click on view. There you go. We have Heidi Rivera. We joined the first and the last name. And then we have the total in here. So go back, design view, select the amount, and then go to format and select currency if you want the dollar sign. So once we did that, now the next is, in your book they said that you can also to group the controls. To group the control means that if you want to move it around, both the stuff is going to move together, right? So let me move this guy here. Now I will hold the shift key and I will create like a box so everything has been selected. This one also with the shift. Now you will go to arrange, then you will go to space and size and space, and you can group it. So once you do that, then you can individually move one, the whole thing will move. See? See? That's the beauty when you group it. Now if you don't want to group it, go back here under the size and space. Now the command change to ungroup the group because they are grouped, so ungrouped. Now they are all individual. So the next thing now is to modify the grouped controls, right? So what we want to do is select this, hold the shift key, and select the text box. Once we select it, we're gonna go to format, then we have to bold it, and then we have to also resize the field, so we need to stretch it until we see everything. So we resized it. If you want to stretch this, you can do. So everything look perfect. Then in the property, so we did that border style. See, the border style is solid, and then you can change it if you want to. So here we're gonna keep it as solid, and then the border width, if you want to change the border width to 1 point. Before it was like a hairline, right? So once we select this, so we change this. Now also you can change the size if you want. They said 10, so 10 will be small, so you can change it also. Now this one here, you can select that, hold the shift key, you can move it, and then we need, so here we selected, now we have selected the labels, so we did that. We need to make it italic, all the label is being italicized. So everything has been set, so here This is the ruler. Right? So account manager. When you click the ruler, all the stuff has been selected. So you see, vertically I selected, everything has been selected. And then we have to boldface this. And then we need to go here. Then these are all bold-faced. Alright. Now we need to add the sub report. So we need to go back to the design tab, and then we need to click the control down arrow, and then you need actually this, like the form we did in chapter number 5, to add the sub form. Now we're gonna add the sub report. So click on this and you have to draw like a box. Once you did that, now we're gonna stick with the first option, using existing tables and queries. Then you will click next. Now you need to select the query that is workshop offerings. The last one, workshop offerings and workshops. And then we're gonna select everything. And then we need to click on next. Access will create the relationship between the top and the bottom table. So hit next. Now here we're gonna be naming it. We're gonna name these as workshop offering by account. And then you have to click finish. The report is gonna be added. So now we need to open the sub report in a design view so we can modify if you want to. So you can also do something from here by clicking. Look, you can adjust that, right? So I will close this. Now when you see, when I will run my, it's gonna look like this. And if you want to shrink this space, so you need to go back, and the space is this, so you can drag it up. And now notice, if I view my report, see, the space becomes lesser and lesser. Report is looking perfect. So just we have to increase here, something is cutting off. So we need to close this, save. Now the book says we have to open the sub report that we just created it. So go to the report section, and it was named as workshop offering by account. So right click on it, design view. It's gonna open like this, and then from here you can adjust this, like instead of having the account like this, you can move it downward. So a little bit I will move this down, then I will make it this to wrap it down. Look, so I can save some space. Workshop, so here, so workshop, So the books, it looks like they don't want the account number. So we have the workshop code and the description. So we can delete this from here. Then we can drag this guy. And then I can move this. Then we need the workshop description. Shutting it down until the description is wrapped down. That one done. So you need to drag the text box underneath the workshop. And then I need the total. The total hours also has to be wrapped down. The hour spent. Then the remaining was cutting off, so also we need to wrap the remaining. So just highlight then stretch it. Select, then when you get the 4 arrows, then you can drag it. So everything look perfect. Now let's view the report and see what we did. Now if something is cutting off, like suppose if what like this one here now, procedures, because what you said is too long, the workshop description. So to wrap it down automatically, so if you type a big message, Atom is gonna wrap it down. So to do that, we have to select the workshop description, and then we have to go to the property sheet and then look for something that says can grow. Can grow. So scroll until you see the can grow. I see it here now. Can grow, which is below the running sum. So can grow is no now by default. So you have to say yes. Now once I did that, I will show you what I did now. See, those who have a longer description will be wrapped it down. See, so the next thing your book says, we can shrink it down all, so we can shrink the mat. Now to change the appearance of the control in your sub, so what we need is, we already shrinked it. I'll show you how to do that. And then if you want to boldface this, select and hold the shift key, go to the tab format, boldface, and then If you wanna italize it also, you can do that. So you can select this, the vertical ruler, and then you can italize it. You can boldface, and then if you want to give it a color, let's try that. And then if you want to have a background color, so you can also have it here if you want to put a background color. So you can do it from the bucket. So after I did this, now I will close it. I will save the changes. Now we need to resize the sub report, the report in a design view. So we need to open the report, which was account manager. So right click, design view. Once we did that, so you can adjust this. You can make it boldface. You can make it any color you want. Then you can, if you want to stretch it or change anything, you can do so. If you want to move it, click in the top border, and you can drag, move it up or down. See. Now the next thing, for the account name, we will do the can grow because if we have a big account name, so automatically is gonna be wrap it down. So can grow, yes, and then we can also do, so that one is done. Now we need to modify the section properties. The section means the following step is to make 2 modifications to the account manager account number header section. The first modification, which caused the content of the group header section to appear at the top of each page. Okay. Changes the repeat section property to yes. Why? Without this change, the account manager number and account name will only appear at the beginning of the group of the account of that account manager if the list of the account occupies more than one page. It will not be apparent on subsequent pages with account manager is associated with those accounts. So to do that, what I need to do is I will select the account. So once I clicked the account manager header bar, which is the black here, I clicked it, it turns to black. Then in your property sheet, I need you to look for repeat section. So I want this to be repeated for all the other records. So yes. So what we did is that all the tab we clicked on repeat selection property box. So when we click that, then we had to select yes to cause the content of the group header to appear at the top of each page of the report, right? Then we need to click on force new page. Force new page. You will click on this one here, and then we have to select before selection. Before to cause the new group to begin at the top of the next page. Okay, so once we did that, the next is to add a title, page number, and a date. So to do that, we need to go back to the design tab. We have to click on title, and the title is account manager master list, right? And then we have to select date and time, and then sorry, we need to select the page number first, and then we need the page number, and then we need it to be the top of the pages, and I don't want it to be in the center, it should be left. And then show the number on the first page. If you want that, you can check. If you don't want, you can remove it. So I said okay. Then for the date, we select the date. We want the date to be this, and I don't want the time, so I will remove include time. Click OK. So that will show up here. See? Now this is your page numbers will be here, the account manager in the top, and then what I do is that we're gonna cut the date. So again, you have to be sure that you have a yellow border. To cut it, you will go to home and cut, and then select the page header section, and then hit paste. You see it comes under the page header now, so you have to move your cursor until you see the 4 black arrow, hold it, the left key of your mouse and drag it. So we move the date from the report header to our page header now. So once we put that, and then the next thing we did is that if you want to remove the header color or the alternative color, you can do so. So if you said I want to have a white color, then you will do right click on the section, and then we're gonna go to fill, and then if you want to have white, it's gonna turn to white. And then if you select the detail, now if you view here, let me show you. So you have an alternative color, see, white, then the next one will be there. So you can go back here, design view, and then you can select we need to select the detail, and then do right click, and then you can go to alternative, and then you can say none. Now if you view your report, all will be white now. So that ends our first report. You see the page. All is in here. And then you have the date. The next one we're gonna do if you wanna give color to the detail is up to you. You will select the detail, you will do right click, fill color, whatever color you like. Your report will look like this. Let's see if we can do can grow in this one. Is there availability for the? Yes, it does. So if you cannot see the service needed, it's cutting off. So can grow, I will make it yes. Account type is okay. Now let's review. See, I can see now this though. Now we're gonna be creating a second report. So I will close this one, save the changes. Now the second report we have to create discount report. Okay. So to do that, we have to go to create, and then we have to go to blank to create a report and design. So we have to hit the design. And then we need to be sure that the whole report is selected. So select the small rectangular where my mouse is pointing to. The square, black square, the small black square. You have to click so that the whole report will be selected. Then under the property sheet, we have to be sure you are in all. And then under the record source, we need to find account managers and accounts query. Account managers and accounts. And then we have to close. So we select account manager and account, the record source, and then we have to close it. Now we need to go to add group and source. So click on add group. The group will be account manager number, and you see a new section has been added. And then the sort will be account number. And then they says remove the sort and the group and sort. So to remove that, you can just hit the group and sort from the ribbon. Now we have to save this report. So hit the floppy disk from the top, and then this will be called as discount report. Click OK. So once we have, now the next is to add and move the field in a report. So we're gonna get the existing, and then we're gonna drag the account manager, and then the next we have to select the label, and we have to change, we have to move now because it's to add and move the field in a report. So now what we're gonna do is select, and you have to cut it. So go to home, cut, select the page header and paste, right? And then we have to also change it as account manager number, and then we need to stretch the section a little bit. So here we have to wrap it down. So they want account manager number. We need to stretch it a little more. Move to your cursor to the section, drag it down to get some space. Now the text box has to come here. Underneath the account manager. So next, now we need to drag the first name and then the same way we need the label to go to the page header. So you will select, you will cut it, you will select the page header, and then you will paste. Now you have to drag it. We have to wrap it down. And then we have to move the name underneath. Now we need the last name. Select the label, cut it, select the page header section, paste. And then I will drag this. Right? Now we need to drag the detail and the other stuff. Account number. They will be here. So we need this guy to move up. So cut it. Select the page header. And now you have to change the label to account number. You have to wrap it down. And then you have to stretch it, move it up. This is the text box. That's where the value is gonna show. And then the account name, you have to drag, select the label, cut it, select the page header, and then paste. And then you have to stretch it. Now move these underneath. Now the next we need is the amount paid. And then also we need the current. So I will select this, I will cut it, I will select the page header, I will paste, I will drag it until I get the 4 black arrow. Then I will stretch the mat, select the current view, cut it, select, paste. Right? So once we have done with this, now we have to select the account name. We need to go to design, property sheet, can grow. Should be yes, can grow. Yes. And then now the next is we're gonna add, we need to add a total and subtotal. So to do that, I will need to have the group and sort again. And then you see where it says group on a group account manager number, you have more. Click on it. Once you click more, and then you will see without a footer section, without a footer section. Click on the down arrow, and now you're gonna add a new section in the footer with footer section. So a new one has been added, and if you scroll down, you will see that an account manager footer has been added. You see that? So once we have done this, so what we're gonna do, first we're gonna close the space. So drag up these. Right? And then you're gonna stretch this a little bit down. And then we need the text box and draw a box. Let me do it again. Once we put that, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna name this the label as subtotals, and then I will click on the box and I will start with equal the function sum. You can give it a space, bracket, then the square bracket, then you're gonna be typing the amount paid, sum all the amount paid. So this one is done. Sorry, I have to close the parentheses. So here, then we need to close the square and then the parentheses. So that will give us all the sum for the total amount paid. So I will drag this guy up. Right. Now we need to have another one for the current due. Text box again. And I will draw a box. Now this will be, let me stretch it. The font will be equal sum parentheses square due. Now we don't need this text box, so we can delete it. Now I can move this guy here. And then we can shrink this, because the more the space, then your report will have more space. So I'm deleting all the space. So once we have subtotal, amount paid, and the sum of the current. Now select this and hold the other one. Now we need to go to format, and we need to have currency. Right? Currency. So that one is done. And then if you want a boldface, now we're gonna be selecting this, select the whole thing, and then copy, go to home, copy, select this, the page footer, and paste, and drag it, and then now this will say grand total. Grand total. Let's run and see, view the report. So far we have it like this. So we have to see this. So let me look at why we have a problem with that. It should work. I don't see any problem with this. Okay, what we're gonna do, just I will delete this and do it again. The equal sum. Let's check it. So let's go back. I can just drag one of this, the text box. Equal sum. Mount it. And then I will drag another text box. I will delete the label. Equal. Now this one, I will say grand total. Grand total. And I will ball fair. Check it out. Go back to design. somehow is having an error. The formula is right. Everything looks right. So you have to check this because the formula is right. Somehow I might have a problem with my database for the grand total, but it's the same. You can come and paste and just change the label to grand total. Okay. So the page is the same formula we have applied. It should work. Amount paid equal current due. So let's copy this again. Somehow I might have a problem with my report. But that's how you're gonna be doing it. Now the next thing I need is to assign a conditional value. Okay, for the conditional value, I will stretch this a little bit, the mat, and then we're gonna add a text box here. And then I will move the text box, I will cut it, go to home, cut, select, paste, and the name will be discounted discount. So now here we're gonna do right click. So once we select the text box, you see now here is I select the text box, and then in the properties you see control source, and then I have the dots here, 3 dots. You will click on those 3 dots. It's gonna open the expression builder, and then from the expression builder you will go to function, click the plus sign, then you will click on built-in function, then you will go to program flow. You will have the if condition. Now we need, so we need to select the if what, click on the expression, is gonna be highlighted, and then you have to replace it. So you will type, so if, put the square bracket, amount paid is greater 20,000, Then if it's true, then what you need, so select the true part, and then you will say if it's true, then 0.044% multiplied, open square bracket, the current you can double click it from here. It's done. Otherwise, the false part, click on it and tap 0.02 multiplied, and then square bracket, then tap current. The moment you tap CU, you will get the current. You double click it, and then current due, so everything, it looks perfect. Now click OK. The function is there with the if condition, and then we need to have a title for this report. So go to design, title. The title is discount report, and then you can also go to format, and then you can move it to the center. You can boldface, and then also you can also do this here. Align the text in the center or distribute. So we have distributed it equally. Okay. You can give it a color you like. You can change the scripting. Okay. Now let's view this report. This is the discount. So if you want to have the $ with the discount, you will select, go to format, currency. Now we have all the $ with under the discount. So this ends our chapter number 6. I show you different ways to create a report, and I hope that you learn about it, about how to create the report. And the last chapter I will do it next week. That will be your last chapter 7. So thank you so much. Bye.